It's delicious, and I like the frosting. I like the sprinkles that are inside the cookie.
Thanks for joining me for another edition of my King Arthur's Baking Company box set bake. This week, I found a gluten-free confetti cake mix. And because I've already made a cake on this series, I decided to try the confetti cookies on the back of the box. So you just have to go to the website and pull up the ingredients. These cookies were okay. After a day, we were no longer interested in eating them. So we did not get through all of the 25 cookies that this made. So let's get baking. Make sure to line your pans with parchment paper. So for the cookies, you're gonna add the mix to the bowl. You're gonna add unsalted butter melted and 2 large eggs that are at room temperature. Once that's all mixed up, I first started with the cookie scoop, but found that the dough was too sticky, so I just went to my hands and created a small ball. Now, usually when I make cookies, I do freeze them for a little bit. It kind of helps solidify everything together, but this recipe doesn't call for that. So I decided to do it in 2 batches. One batch I put straight into the oven at 350 degrees, and the other batch I put in the freezer for 30 minutes. So while these cookies are baking, you're gonna make the buttercream frosting. The frosting calls for the remaining butter, salt, powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and heavy cream. You want to make sure that the heavy cream is at room temperature and that the butter is softened. So then you're gonna mix this all up with a blender or with your stand mixer and then taste it. After tasting, I felt like it still had a very heavy powdered sugar flavor. So I added a dash more salt and a little bit more vanilla. Once the frosting is done, I put it in a piping bag and set it aside. The first batch of cookies baked for 12 minutes. I let them cool, so I frosted them and sprinkled them. And then I got the freezer batch of cookies in the oven. Those baked for about 14 minutes. I would say that the taste wasn't different for the 2 batches, but the ones that went in the freezer had a browner bottom. Per the instructions, you do not want the cookies to look brown on the top. You just want the bottoms to be brown. In the end, I felt like these cookies tasted like the store-bought cookies. The ones that have the frosting that have tons of powder on them. And my children and I just don't love those cookies. So we did not continue eating them after we did this trial. I would also say that these cookies need the buttercream. If you want to change what you put on the top of them, that's fine, but make sure it has some sugar because these cookies are very bland. They are not very sweet at all. I would even consider adding more vanilla to the cookie mix just to give it a little bit more flavor. So let's hear what my kids have to say.
I like the frosting and I like it inside. When I get the frosting, I can eat it.
I like the middle of the part because it's really soft and it's easy to chew. I don't like the frosting because I don't like frosting. I can't stop eating these. They're so good.